Today, I'm going to talk to you about what I think may be the best e-mountain bike for 2021, price considered. All right, tall order, right? Best e-mountain bike. But big caveat on my last phrase there, price considered. You know, e-mountain bikes are very cool, a lot of new development. They enable a lot of riding, a lot of possibilities, but the price is kind of restrictive. You know, they're hot, a lot of R&D is going in there, and manufacturers know they're the ones selling. So there are no discounts, no easy payments. So what we have here is the Canyon CF9, top of the line, $9,000, an e-mountain bike with 150, 160 millimeters of mullet travel sitting on a Shimano EP8 motor. All right? Okay, so I'll talk to you about how all these pieces contribute to what I think is the best e-mountain bike solution today. And the first piece to that is the suspension. It is a very active suspension, link here, and a hidden link here. So for e-bike, you want something that's very active under braking, gonna do a lot of descending. Also, you want something that's supportive. So how they support it is with a DPX2 on the rear and a Fox 36 Grip 2 on the front. A lot of adjustability, a lot of damping possibilities on this bike. So you no need to upgrade the suspension. The next thing to this effect is the mullet wheel size, 27.5, 29er. They put Reynolds carbon wheels, Minions 2.8 on the rear. So no, upgrade free right there. And mullets are important because they quicken the handling of an e-bike. An e-bike is about 50 pounds. This is about 48 in top spec. And it's when you first get on it, we're like, man, this, especially a 29er, man, this thing's hard to handle. It's like a boat, it doesn't turn. And so you want to shorten the bike, and also you want to lighten it with a little shorter stay and maybe a little less traction on the rear. And this bike does all of that. So you have a very active bike, a bike that's easy to turn on the tightest switchbacks. The other thing is short stay. You know, with nice supportive suspension, it becomes poppy as well. You know, it's playful, very easy to turn compared to a lot of e-bikes. Now we get to the motor. The motor is a Shimano EP8, the latest. They put their mark with the E8000, tried and true, the most durable around. Not the most sophisticated, but man, you know, you tow a keg up a 2,000 foot hill, tow a roast pig. Your friend on another e-bike breaks down, you tow him back to the car. E8000 keeps on trucking. And that one was like a dot matrix printer. This one is like a laser printer. So a lot more resolution, a lot more refinement, better torque sensor, smoother engagement. It makes the e-bike assist more natural. It's more natural feeling, and hopefully all that Shimano reliability and all that translates to this system. It only should. I mean, every Shimano you've seen, it just seems to be at another level of quality when it comes to durability. The one knock on it, knock, is when you're coasting, the motor has a knock. It has a one-way bearing that's a little too loose, so you'll hear the tuck, 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 tuck. Patent that. And it's akin to your chain slapping when you are coasting. So that's the Shimano EP8 problem. There's no solution to it at the moment, and we'll see if they fix that in future releases. The next thing we shall talk about is perhaps the most amazing part of this bike. Not the most, but one of the really dramatic part of this bike is the Shimano Drivetrain. Shimano is the hardest to get of all systems in this post-pandemic era, and the key thing is they work so well. You know, the low end has SLX, this one has XDR. The shifting is so good, so good. And in an e-bike, you want amazing shifting that can shift under power. Even though when you don't think you're applying power, the motor's applying power, especially if you're in trail or turbo mode. And you could tell on other e-bikes, you shift and it makes that god-awful noise, pow, pow, like what the heck? And it'll blow up your chain, it'll screw up your chain rings. What Shimano does, especially on their 12-speed systems, is it waits a little bit. You shift, it waits till it's on its ramps. I think there's 4 shifting areas, and then it'll shift cleanly. And so you have so much more chances of getting a clean shift even under a little bit of power from your legs. So, and that translates to durability and just a smoother driving, biking experience. The next thing is the brakes. The brakes are incredible. You need the best brakes on an e-bike. You say, oh, it's only 20 pounds. I gained 20 pounds on the winter. Well, it's different. You know, this bike is not your body. You can't move it around like your body. You know, it can snowplow into situations if you let it. And so what you need to do is you want to control it. You want to brake a hair earlier, you want to brake harder, and really initiate that turn sooner. And the other thing, which a lot of people don't talk about, is instead of you descending 1,200 foot hills at one shot or 1,500 feet, you're going to be descending 3,000 foot hills, because you're going to be climbing. I climb pretty much 4,000 to 6,000 feet all day, every day, because even the crappiest, steepest, hottest fire roads are fine. You know, why do the same little trail, little loop every time when you could explore the whole land and exert the same amount of energy with your body? But it's going to demand a lot from your bike and your brakes. Okay, so now we jump into the Canyonisms. What makes this bike unique? Canyon made some effort. A lot of engineers out there in Germany. First thing they did is design a new saddle. They said, hey, we can make this better, because the e-bike, you don't stand up when you're doing a 3,000 foot hill. You're planted like this. Instead of you sliding out, we'll catch you so you can spin your pedals. Does it work? Yes, it does. Pretty cool. You're like, whoa. And it's wider too, so you can guide the heavy bike a little better with your thighs. So the downside is it's not as supportive down here, you know, when you're not super climbing. And it's just so different from your other bikes that you might not like it. So it's up to you, but you have that option. This comes stock in all their bikes. The next Canyonism I'll talk about is the binder bolt. The seat binder bolt is hidden. You know, it's an internal clamp, very nifty, but it doesn't grip as hard, so you do need to use their friction paste that they put in their package. Then they have a little fender, pretty cool, that says Canyon, and I think it's better than the Fox because it doesn't attract rocks, doesn't spit out rocks as much. The big one is their bar and stem is unified. Carbon bar, stem, one piece. Very trick for cross-country bikes now to save weight. For an e-bike, you know, a little limited on the savings there. 55, it goes out and then comes back, so a little bit of a sweep. So it's equivalent to a 55 and 780. So very good, but it's a one-size-fits-all. You know, some people want 35, some people want 70. So it's a tough one for the American market, which is a little bit disjointed. They say, hey, it matches our geometry the best, but you know, people have their personal preferences, and stem has a lot to do with that. So it's a little hard to replace because the computer is mounted on the bar and the wires are inside. It is possible, but it's a little harder. It's cost you money too if you want carbon fiber. Next thing, you have a USB port here, USB-C, very trick. We'll see a lot of that in the future. The hidden pivot here, cool with Canyon. And then this axle is a tool-free, and you pull this out. Might not know it the first time you get a flat tire out in the field. So there you go. What makes the bike good? The bike has a great motor. I can climb 6,000 feet with it. Very plush, easy to turn, very playful. Out of the box, most of my e-bikes, I love them, but I upgrade the heck out of them. This one, haven't done anything. It's that good out of the box. I wish this rear suspension was a little more supportive, kinematic, so I don't have to do so much with the shock. And I wish this seat angle was a little steeper. It's a 75, a little less than 75. I want now a 77, 78. And so it's not the most modern geometry. if you're not into the new modern stuff, this is a good middle ground. But if you are very tall, this seat angle will put you out here. You better have a long torso. So there you go. CF9, CF8, CF7, CF5, a lot of price options. Every one of them, as long as you can get them, I think you'll be stoked. And the way to get them now, they've been out of stock all year, is you go to their website. It's going to be out of stock, I guarantee it, from 2021. But you say, email me when it comes into stock. So when you get that email in about a month, you buy it right there. If it's your size, you buy it, and then you'll be a happy camper. You'll sell out usually within 24 hours. But I have at least a half dozen friends who've been able to buy it that way with my recommendation, and they couldn't be happier with their investment. And now the value of their bike has appreciated instead of depreciated. Crazy times, I know. But let me know in the comments what other e-bikes are in your hot list, or have you already bought one, and are you happy with your specific purchase? Thanks a ton.